Today, let's go over the facts of the Planet of the Apes 1974 sci-fi television series that was originally broadcast on CBS. The series starred Ron Harper, James Naughton, Roddy McDowall, Mark Leonard, and Booth Coleman. It's based on the 1968 movie Planet of the Apes and all its sequels. The series was broadcast after the last original Planet of the Apes movie, Battle for the Planet of the Apes, that was made in 1973. The two surviving astronauts from 1980 on the show crash land in the future post-apocalyptic version of California, controlled by talking apes. But in the original movie, Charlton, Heston had crashed near New York City, unless of course the Statue of Liberty just floated a very long way, which I don't think is the case. Now in this TV series, as in the original movies, the world has been shaped by a nuclear war, which isn't even mentioned in the more recent movies of the 2000s. The series takes place approximately 1,000 years after the events of Battle of the Planet of the Apes. The year is 3085. Now, in order to simplify things, I made this timeline real quick. Now, in 1972, you can see where George Taylor, that's Charlton Heston, leaves Earth. And then in 1973, Cornelius and Zero land in Earth's past. This is after they're trying to escape the nuclear bomb going off in the second movie, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Now, somewhere in the 1990s, in the conquest of the Planet of the Apes uprise. And then around the 2012 area, that's when the battle for the Planet of the Apes occurs. And then in 3085, that's when the TV series takes place. And then in 3954, that's when George Taylor actually arrives on the Planet of the Apes in the very first movie. Now, in this show, the humans talk, unlike the first movie where humans were all mute. Now, this time the astronauts were named Colonel Alan Verdon and Major Peter J. Burke, and were from 1980, about 6 years after the series actually aired in 1974. Now, Roddy McDowall was back in this show, but this time around he played a chimpanzee named Galen, who was basically, for all intents and purposes, the same as the chimpanzee Cornelius he played in the first movie and the movie Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Now, he also played the son of Cornelius on the movies, a chimpanzee named Caesar, on Battle and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. The only movie he missed was the second movie, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, even though his character was present on the movie. He's just a different actor. Now, the ape, Zaius, is here, even with the location change. This time he's played by Booth Coleman instead of Maurice Evans. Perhaps he's just the ancestor of the original Dr. Zaius. Now, the main bad guy, or bad ape, I guess you should say, is the gorilla named Urko, who is played by Mark Leonard, the actor who played Spock's father on Star Trek. And he's obsessed with catching the astronauts in Galen. Now, the series was unfortunately considered a ratings failure, mostly because it ran up against the very popular Sanford & Son. A few years after the series was canceled, 20th Century Fox combined episodes to make 5 TV movies. Roddy McDowall filmed wraparounds for each one of these. A series of 3 paperbacks based on 2 episodes apiece was released during the show's run in 1974. The series was filmed for the most part on location at what is now Malibu Creek State Park, with a budget of about $250,000 for each episode. Now, both James Naughton and Ron Harper were impressed with the expense of this television series, but they were disappointed with what they perceived as the series' overall lackluster writing. For example, Naughton has complained in interviews that too many episodes had the same formula. One of the trio would be captured and the other 2 would rescue him. Now, in 1974, during this series run, Topps then released a series of trading cards from this television series using images from the episodes The Trap and The Legacy, as well as publicity stills of the main characters. Now, if you do happen to find one of these trading card sets, from 1974, I would not chew the bubblegum that's inside the package. I just would not do it. I don't know what might happen to you. Now, if I had to pick just 3 episodes to recommend watching, I would probably go with the first episode, as it reintroduces the viewer to the Planet of the Apes and shows you how the new astronauts arrived and everything. Now, I found the most interesting of the series to be when they explored the ruins. Now, For that reason, the episode Trap is a good one. In it, Burke and Urko are forced to work together when they're buried alive underground in an old Bay Area rapid transit subway station in San Francisco during an earthquake. Now in the episode The Legacy, they explore the ruins of Oakland, California, where Verdon and Burke find a filmed message from scientists from an earlier time, which may tell them what happened to civilization. Now the reason these episodes are better than the rest is the fact, like I said, that they explore really cool ruins and the mystery of this post-apocalyptic world. More detailed exploration of the Planet of the Apes would have really made this series just absolutely amazing to me. Considering the cost of the show, it's too bad they didn't give it a better time slot, so it could build an audience. Now, in all fairness, even though the series wasn't considered a hit in America, it was a rating success in other parts of the world. Now, the producers were actually trying to bring in Gene Roddenberry to consult and hopefully add some of his ideas to the mix, but they never got a chance to film any more than the first 14 episodes and implement his ideas. Now, Ron Harper, who played Alan Verdon, went on to play another character lost in time and space, Uncle Jack from the third and final season of Land of the Lost. Now, this time, Harper mostly ran from dinosaurs instead of talking apes. Now, there's a couple of neat guest stars that showed up on the show. Martin E. Brooks, who played Rudy Wells, the doctor from The 6 Men Are a Man and The Bionic Woman, guest starred on a couple of episodes. You probably won't really recognize him, though, because he had on the ape makeup and so forth.
You think I'm cruel? You can tell me the truth.
Mark Singer from V guest starred on the Gladiators episode. He went from a world ran by apes to a world ran by lizards from space. Now, Royal Dano guest starred on the first episode. Now, he did a lot of guest appearances on old westerns like Rawhide and The Rifleman. There were several differences between the show and the movie series you may have missed if you watched this series as a kid like I did. And some of these facts lead us to believe the series is not part of the same universe as the movie series. And they show Earth time as 1980 in the opening credits, but it was 1973 that the two talking apes arrived through time from the future in the third movie, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. And in that movie, the apes became world famous, so the two TV astronauts should not have been surprised to find talking apes, because they would have been introduced to them in 1973. Now, although it was mentioned that dogs and cats were wiped out in a plague in Escape from Planet of the Apes and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, the young chimpanzee boy, Arno, has a Great Dane. Now, I almost forgot one guest star. Norman Alden, the voice of Aquaman on the Super Friends, did a guest appearance as a gorilla on the episode The Trap.
You've been too much with humans. You lie like they do. I can see no...
Hey, if you like time travel, post-apocalyptic worlds, and lots of action, then check out my novel series, The Time Cruisers, at Amazon, written by me, Tim Frady, aka TV Crazy Man, because I'm crazy about television. Now, I'm also working on Liberty A still, my first superhero comic book that features a post-apocalyptic world. I've been working on that one for months now. It's getting near to completion, though. I wish I had a time machine so I could just zip ahead and see the finished product myself. So keep that in mind, and one of the characters from the Time Cruisers appears in the book. You don't have to read the Time Cruisers to get what happens in Liberty Ace, but it might make it a little more fun getting some background information on Agent John Martin of ATA, the American Time Travel Association. Now, hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for future notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Have a great day.